what's up? So we are finally finishing the year, and for me, what a year it's been. Now, I mean, towards the end of the year, you see all the things on Instagram saying like, oh my god, this year was horrible, next year's my year, and then like after one day it's like, okay, next year's my year. I feel like I had a pretty decent year. I had a lot of like roller coastery moments, but overall, pretty good year. I actually started posting on YouTube, which is, you know, a plus. But we are going to go through my calendar, and this is where I write down like main events that happen, like mostly it's like shows I do, and then if I'm ever like getting a horse or whatever, those dates as well. So we'll be going through this as well as just what I remember from the year. So let's go. First, to start off, in January, I was leasing a horse named Luke. He is this horse who used to do like the 4-foot performance hunters and be like this great show horse, and then his previous owners kind of like broke him a little bit. So he is at our barn now, and he's basically like the perfect little lesson horse for everyone. So when I started riding there and like getting more serious there, because when I first moved there, I only was taking like a lesson a week because I didn't know if I still even wanted to ride. But of course I came back. But I started leasing him to kind of like see what it was like to lease a horse there and see if I wanted to continue. I opted not to. So in January on my calendar, there is nothing because I leased Luke in December and continued through January, and we didn't do any shows together. But then when we get to February, if I can turn the frickin' page, this is where Feather comes into my life. Technically we got her shipped to the barn at the very end of January, but our lease started February 1st. I didn't write it down apparently. I'll be changing that to write it down for February 1st because it's like it was the weird time, so I guess I never wrote it down, but I remember because it was Feather, so of course I remember. But I know we got her at the very end of January, and then less than a week of having her, we did our first show together. So we went to a show that's pretty close by to us called Swan Lake. We did their Partridge Run Classic, which is their A show, one of their A show series. And for our first show together, after only being together for less than a week, I'd say we did pretty well because we ended up taking home champion, which I was very happy with, and it was the perfect start to our partnership together. But basically the rest of winter we kind of kept prepping for more shows. So then March we did our second show together. We did pretty well. We didn't like blast it out of the water, but when I go back and watch the videos of like that show versus our first ever show together, it looks a world different because of just like how I was riding her differently and like actually helping her and allowing her to move better and ride better, and like just the course was so much smoother and everything. But that was our second show together at the end of March. Continuing on to April, also, yes, all the cute little drawings. This is the Emily Cole calendar. I've had them for like probably 4 or 5 years, and I strictly just write the horse shows and stuff, and I have them like all saved in my room. They're so cute. April, we did our third show together where we finally moved up. So I did my first show in the 2-6, and she was really good. We placed pretty well as far as I remember. Like, we didn't like get first in anything, I don't think, but like we were on like the upper mid-side, I think. And for our first time moving up together, I'd say it went pretty well. I think this is also the show that I fell off, which was the only time I fell off Feather. And it was all my fault, so it's fine. And then moving on to May. This sadly was our last show together, but we did a Swan Lake show as well. This was like our biggest show that we did together because it was kind of like the kickoff into their summer show. So it was a week-long show. So I went there a couple times and like schooled her, lessoned with her throughout the week, and then showed her over the weekend. That was when I did my first ever derby, which was a hot mess, but hey, I improved because my second ever derby, I won. So like, it evens out, I guess, but I still have the ribbon from it. We got 8th out of 9. We did so well, and I feel really bad for the person who got 9th because I got 55 and a 65, which so proud. No, but we did our first derby together, and then we showed again in the 2-6, and she was so good. Like, this was by far our best show together, even though we didn't get champion because we showed in a division with like 25 people, and we actually like took home ribbons in almost every class except we had like a rail in one of them. So, but like, she was so well behaved, and for how many people there were, we placed like very well. And then we get to June, and then on June 15th, I wrote this on the calendar, Feather tore her tendon, which meant I couldn't ride her anymore, obviously. So she's doing very well now. I actually just went and visited her recently. She's able to be like trotting under saddle right now, and she gets turnout for a couple hours a day. So she is living her best pasture puff life, essentially. But I was like so devastated because obviously I wanted to like show her throughout the season, because I got her like a little late into the season, but honestly like it's fine, and I could have started looking for one at like the end of November, beginning of December for this season that we're in now, but that didn't end up happening. So, and at the end of June is one of my favorite shows ever, State College. I've been there for many years now, and I love it because it's like, it's in the peak of summertime. It's like, I don't know, it's like the first big away show that I went to, and it holds a special place in my heart, and I didn't get to show this year, but we'd already booked everything. Like, we booked the hotel to go and whatever, so we still went. So like, I did still write it down, and I just went and supported my friends. We only went for the weekend, and it was still a good time. I wish I could show. Hopefully this summer goes, and I really want to do their derby because they have quite a fun derby. So, and then moving on to July, it's pretty empty because I did not have a horse, but this is when I started my job where I do like barn care and barn chores and stuff, and ride mostly OTDBs to be resold, and yeah, it's a fun time. I made one video about that. Let me know if you guys want more. And then August is very empty. Basically, I was just continuing doing my job. I think I maybe rode like a handful of times, like 1 or 2 times, but like honestly not really, like at Pembroke, because mainly I was working, which is enough for me. So September is about when I started looking for horses again. Now, I didn't write down any of the horses because I was told like some of the people didn't really want it to be like shared publicly or whatever, but I think I tried 5 horses, one of which I was going to get, and then someone else took him on trial. And he's still at our barn, so they didn't like him, I guess. But honestly, I'm fine. I'm glad that I didn't get that horse because I think the horse that I did get is much better. And it's Guevero. I hope I wrote down. Yes, October 2nd is when I officially leased Guevero. So throughout all of September is when I was trying all the horses, and I had tried him like at the end of September. So it like just kind of perfectly worked out. So I started leasing him at the very beginning of October. So yeah, and we have hopefully a very fun year ahead of us. We didn't do any shows in October because there weren't many, because like indoors were happening and stuff like that. So like Penn Nationals, which is right near us, which is my goal for next year. Come on, I want it to happen. And like other big shows that I wasn't going to, and I don't think anyone from our barn really went to. It was more of like in my trainer's word, a month where she actually had personal life things, like she had weddings to go to and whatnot, so it was like a busier month, which is fine because like I was doing Halloween things. I went to like Field of Screams or whatever. So November is when we did our first show together. So we had like just about a month because we did it on the 3rd, and it was a pretty good show. We did the 2-6 together, and that went like just about average, like, but we did the Derby and we won, and I still have that ribbon, and now I have a photo of our victory gallop that I got for Christmas. This is also a new photo. Don't worry, GP got moved over there, so he's still hung up in my room. Yeah, that was a good show, I'd say. And then November is also when one of the organizations I'm part of, CPJHSA, which is just like the Central Pennsylvania Junior Horse Show Association. It's a mouthful. I managed to get enough points in the 4 shows I did. That's ridiculous. To place for year-end awards. So back in April is also when I did the medal for the first time. So I placed, I think it just says, I just wrote that I placed 5th and 7th. I think I placed 5th in the medal, and then I placed 7th in the modified before I moved up. So only 2 shows in the modified for 7th. I think that these might be flip-flopped, and then 5th in the medal for only 2 shows, which, hey, that's fine. And the ribbons they gave out this year that I'm looking at, they are great. I love them. And I got a duffel bag and a brush, so yeah. And then moving on to December, which is blank because we have been prepping for Florida. Oh my God, I'm so excited. After begging my parents and trying to convince them for a long time, they surprised me with a trip to WEF. So we are going down the end of January. He's going for 2 weeks. I'm going for a week because I have school. And I am so excited. I'm so excited. So we've been in boot camp essentially, and we haven't even gone to any shows in December because my one trainer, she went down in like mid-December to set up the barn and like get some horses down there. A good amount of horses just left as WEF starts tomorrow. And yeah, there's more horses down there, and we're going just for 2 weeks. In like I think it's like week 3 and 4 is when a lot of people are going who can't go for the whole season or don't want to go for the whole season, but they want to go for some of it. So that is what we are going for. So this year was a year, but honestly not horrible. I got to lease 2 amazing horses and Luke, but like he was technically previous year, and I got to ride so many more horses. I got my job, and I've made like a lot of progress. Hopefully I'll be able to move up again soon. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye!